Yo, what's up guys? Copy him next year. And today's video is going to be a little bit different than my other long forms. Actually, I guess that doesn't make much sense because none of my long forms have really been consistent in what kind of content I do. It's just mostly skateboarding related. So compared to that, this is still skateboarding related, of course. However, it's a review video this time. Yep, I'm reviewing the Ishod Wair Spitfire wheels, and I think they're really cool. And they're pretty much my new favorite wheel. I don't know how well y'all can see. I doubt you guys were able to see that well. I'm sorry, I suck at filming by myself. Sadly, Caleb is not here. He was not able to come over today for a little session, and he's also pretty much my cameraman. And this is pretty tiring. My arm already is kind of tired, which is not good at all. But yeah, of course, I've been skating these wheels for a little bit. If any of you guys had seen the community post where I had originally gotten these wheels, you know that I've had them for like a little bit now. I've been skating them ever since, and I really like them. I think the technology in them makes sense. And of course, all this is still from a beginner skater's perspective. Well, I guess, yeah, I'm a beginner. I can like do some things. Of course, I can cruise around. I can hippie jump. I can manual. I can nose stall. I can do like ride on 50/50s. But it's not, like I still can't ollie or anything. That's what's up next. I gotta start ollieing soon. Hopefully that will be achieved pretty soon, especially by the end of this summer. We will have ollies down. Sorry for that cut. Some kid was riding past on one of those electric scooters, and I didn't want to look like too much of a weirdo filming. But yeah, like I said, sorry for another cut. A bunch of cars just came by. Anyways, like I was saying, this is a review of the Ishod Wair Pro model Spitfire wheels. Mine are in 53 millimeter, I believe, and 99 durometer. But he recently, there's also a 93 durometer version out. So that's of course going to be a little bit softer and feel a bit better, especially for some of the older skaters. Which I doubt any older skaters are watching this, but or if you just want, you know, like a softer ride, those are being offered as an option in these in this Spitfire model. And something I've seen some people compare them to are the Nano Rats by Bones. And I've never heard of those wheels, so I didn't know. And I didn't really look them up because I wasn't too concerned or curious, but my bad, guys. Again, I suck at filming alone. So you're probably gonna see me off camera talking sometimes. But yeah, I'll just give you guys a quick little, of course they say it's Ishod Spitfire and have like the specs on them, and on the inside it's just blank. And if you've seen these wheels, then you know that their shape is a bit different. They're a bit unique, especially for something for Spitfire to do. At least I've never seen them do this before. However, I'm a fairly new skater, so it could make sense for me to not notice something. Like I said, I've never heard of Nano Rat wheels either. So, which were, again, like I said, the wheel that I've seen most people compare these to in like style. Never heard of Nano Rats by Bones, which I'm sure those wheels are probably also at least similarly good. However, like I was saying before, these wheels, they're little gimmick. I don't want to say gimmick because I feel like it does actually work, but when you look at them, they have the width of a classic shape from Spitfire, and the outer side is a classic, more rounded off edge of Spitfire. However, the inside are the lock-in shape from Spitfire. So I have the riding surface, because wheelbase would be incorrect. Yeah, riding surface of the wheel is the same as their classic model of wheels. And then the outer is also in the style of classic Spitfire wheel shape. Not OG classics, just the classics, because I know there's two. And before this, I had rid OG classics, which have a wider riding surface. And of course, if you're a beginner like me, I'll just explain real quick that riding surface is essentially how much of the wheel is touching the ground when you're skating. But yeah, it's cool. Like, I think they've helped me a lot with lock-ins. And I guess, well, yeah, that's in the name. They are called the lock-ins. So, of course, if you've seen any of my shorts recently, I've been doing like ride on 50/50 grinds. And these have helped me improve those a lot because they lock in a lot better. And I like those. And I like how they lock in a lot more. Then, an issue though, of course, that I realized pretty early on is that most people, I feel like, that of course aren't pro and aren't getting new wheels all the time, they typically swap them around, you know? If you're not getting new wheels all the time, or like if you're just trying the same wheels, typically you swap them, like rotate them, you know? Maybe some people might do every board. Some people might do it every few months. Some people may even do it every few weeks. Maybe some people might even do it every few days. You know, it all depends on the person and their personal preferences and their habits and what they're used to. So that's where I see a problem with these shoes coming into play is if you're someone who rotates your wheels a lot, then you're not going to fully get that, the purpose of the technology all the time. Because once you swap the wheels, then you're going to have the rounded edge on the inside, which isn't meant for locking in as good. And the outside is going to be a lot more square. So, and when I think what I've heard and stuff is when it's square on the outside, it's a bit harder to do scoop tricks like pop shove-its and tray flips, laser flips, right? Something that involves a scoop in the trick. It can hinder that a little bit, and rounded wheels make it a bit easier. How true is that? I don't know. I'm not a scientist, and I don't know nearly enough tricks for that to matter. But for me, they lock in really, really well. And I feel like, just like anything in skateboarding, if you use it enough, you'll get used to it. So, if you do swap them, rotate them, you're gonna be able to probably just lock in at least just as good or just a little bit less than good as usual with these wheels. So yeah, your lock-ins might be improved, but you just have to expect that change if you rotate your wheels. That's really about it. And they're really good. Like I said, I like them. Of course, they're Spitfires, so they're Formula 4, and they're revert, really nice. And I have never experienced a flat spot before with Spitfires. And these are holy. These are technically my third Spitfire wheels, because my first board had the first board I bought had OG classics, and then my first board just had really old Spitfire Formula 4s. So yeah, never had an issue with Spitfire. I love Spitfire. I think what they put out is really cool. So yeah, I've never had an issue with them. I will put a link in the description for these wheels if you would like to check them out, maybe pick them up. Of course, I'm not sponsored by Spitfire. They are not paying me to make this video. It's not an affiliate link. I will make no money whether or not you purchase these wheels or not. I'm just gonna leave them there for you to check out. And on top of a link to these wheels being in the description, some of my homies will be in the description, like Caleb, who films for me, and some other really cool people that I think you should check out as well. Thanks for watching. Peace.